Hi, I'm Daniel Flores from The Murder in My Suite, and you're watching ROCKNLIVE.
Lately I started to doubt myself. I blame it on someone else. So typical. Truth aside, I can't really comprehend why nothing has gone my way. But I won't let it break.
Well, this new album is kind of an adventure into a different style, because obviously we're a female-fronted band, but we wanted to go more into the style that maybe hasn't been, discovered yet. So we're trying to go into more poppier, into heavier. So it's kind of a different mix of all those things. That's my short story. Sorry.
There's a light that's hidden deep within us, and it shines. It's right there when we need it. Search your heart. You got it, I can see.
Actually, my studio. I have my own studio called Sound vs. Science, and we did that in about 3 months in Stockholm, Sweden, with the new band, the new guitarist Christopher Vedder, and the new bass player, who is Teddy Westland.
For every bet that you lost, for every dream that you lived, whatever they tell you, we are not weak at all. Baby, we're unbreakable.
I'm sure some of that is true, but some of the new, at least the 3 last songs, are about this new kind of story that we're coming up for the next album. So the last 3 songs on the album is a short story. It's a song called, we have a song called Waiting for the 27th, and then you have Black September, and after that you have I can't remember my record, but and the last song sums up the whole story, and which is for the next record, because we're doing the next record, it's going to be called Beth Out of Hell, and those 3 songs are like a small story, like a prologue for the next album. So, and the songs before that are actually more about everyday life and struggling about trying to be a normal person in this world. It's kind of stuff like that.
For every tear that you weep, whatever they tell you, we are not weak at all. Baby, we're unbreakable.
I think actually Angelica knows more about this, but from what she tells me, it's about leaving something. I think the first record was maybe a little bit more childish for us, and so it's time for us to say bye-bye to our childhood, So it's the next step. It's kind of a metaphor for us taking a new step into another direction. I would say Waiting for the 27th is something that we're really into, especially for the next record, because we're going into more this, cinematic and really dramatic feel. So we're going into that style, and I would say Resurrection pretty much sums what we are as a band. So Resurrection is my decision in the end.
But baby, you're tough, 'cause we are untouchable, unstoppable. Touch the sky, the limit is in your mind.
It's a film noir movie from the 40s. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's kind of one of those movies that are really historical for that kind of era of film noir. We just love these kinds of movies and black and white movies. I like movies which are about the First World War, and in this kind of style of film noir. That's my favorite style. So that's why that's how we found our name, you know. I thought that was pretty exciting because there's not a lot of bands taking names from that kind of era, you know. So we were maybe the first. I don't know. Let's see.
You're falling it up again until you reach it. There's a light that's hidden deep within us. Such a heart. You got it, I can see.
Yeah. Colin Powell is a really known actor. He's in that movie, and I mean all kinds of movies from that area, like Casablanca, and all these kinds of movies are really exciting to me. You know, I think more new movies are really great, visually really great. But in the 40s and 50s, movies were a bit more. The story was a bit more, you know. I think they have better stories back then to tell, you know. So that's why I love these kinds of movies. You know, I play a lot of games. I'm a big gamer. So today I feel that the line between movies and games is really thin, because films are becoming more like games and games are becoming more like films, you know. So it's a big inspiration for me. There's a lot of great stories in games too, you know. It can't be ignored. I think in the next 10 years that are coming, I think that games are going to be a huge part of our lives, you know, in everyone's life, you know. Even if you don't like games, you can play one of these games and you feel like, wow, what a great story, you know. You don't have to be a nerd to play a game today, you know. It's a different story from being in the 90s when you had Pac-Man and everything was small and, you know, very little. Today it's like big stories and big production, and the music is fantastic. So a lot of music that are being done in the game business is really well produced and well orchestrated. So big inspiration.
For every bet that you lost, for every dream that you lived, whatever they tell you, we are not weak at all. Baby, we're unbreakable.
I actually did a movie this year for a film called Ice Dragon, which is a juvenile film. I don't know if you say juvenile, but it's a movie about, it's for children really, but from 11 up to 20 or something, and had a big reviews in Sweden, and actually we were nominated in Berlin for that movie. So me and Jesper Strömblad from In Flames, who is my partner, I work with him on daily basis, and we did the music for that film. So I've done that already.
Forever it's here that you wait. Whatever they tell you, we are not weak at all. Oh, baby, we're unbreakable.
Well, I think the scene in Stockholm right now is kind of if you're speaking about female-fronted bands, there's not a lot of them. And metal in Stockholm is not really big. You know? If you go outside of Stockholm, like in Gothenburg, where In Flames comes from, it's a different situation. But I think I really don't know about the situation in Paris and how bands develop here. But there's a lot of, I think to me, there's a lot of exciting new bands coming, younger bands coming right now, and they're, you know, taking progressive elements, taking metal elements, and doing everything into, you know, even pop songs into all these kinds of styles, you know, that are popping up right now. So in Stockholm, there's not enough bands right now that I can really say that are developing to a new direction. Mostly are all the bands, you know, that were really known in the 90s and the 80s and stuff like that. Not that it's not a bad thing, but I don't see too much, you know, bands trying to get into new styles, you know. So I don't know how that compares to Paris and stuff, but it's kind of a hard struggle for metal bands today.
Soon enough, your true colors will shine bright. Down they go, all the walls come tumbling down.
I think, you know, during the summers in Sweden, there's a lot of, you know, like there's a lot of people everywhere, you know, because people are really glad about, you know, having sun on their face. But during the winters, that's when we musicians really like stay in the studio and write the songs, you know. And I think that a huge part of what makes a lot of Swedish bands really, really good, it's because of the fact that we have so long winters, you know. Actually, our winter starts from like October and ends in maybe March, you know, and that's a lot of time. And during that time, you're really like inspired to do some music, you know. And if that makes good music or bad music, that's, you know, up to the listener. But that's one of the keys to why we in Sweden we do a lot of music. We do a lot of music because the winters are awful, you know. You don't want to go outside. Sometimes maybe, you know, but doing music in the winters is really inspirational. You should try that. So many, you know. We would really want to go on tour with a different band, like not necessarily a female-fronted band. I would love to go on tour with like 30 Seconds to Mars. That would be awesome. Or even, you know, like, well, we still love these female-fronted bands. I mean, it would be an honor to go on tour with them, Temptation or Nightwish. You know, I mean, those bands are awesome. But, you know, I would generally kind of choose something that's not really our style, just because, you know, I always believe that songs doesn't matter what style you do them in. It's always about a song, you know. So even if you have Metallica or we have a band like us or something like 30 Seconds to Mars, it's still like the key element is always a song, you know. So no matter the style, it's always, if it's a good song, it's a good song, you know. So I would choose one of those modern bands, actually.
For every breath that you lost, for every dream that you lived, whatever to tell you, we are not weak at all. Baby, we're unbreakable.
Actually, when we were here last time, it was like everything from kids to grown-ups, and from people who liked only metal to people who liked synth. A lot of I've seen a lot of last time when we played in Rhymes, I've seen a lot of guys who like Depeche Mode. So I think we're attracting different styles of people, you know, into the style of the Murder on My Sweet.
Forever